What's up? Okay, just waiting on Leon in the meantime.
Awesome. Super excited about our guest tonight. We're interviewing Cece. Oh
Yes,
my gosh, everybody knows her, loves her. She's been on with us a couple of times. So we're waiting for Leon as
yes.
well. Leon's going to be able to join us tonight. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what he said.
There
So,
she is. There she
hey,
is. Oh my gosh, so excited.
Hi, how are you?
Oh my gosh, you
I'm
look
good. I'm
gorgeous as
good.
ever. Oh my
Oh, thank
gosh,
you.
welcome. Welcome
Thank you.
everybody that's joining us.
Okay,
Also, we all
one
know
second.
that we talked to our amazing guest before we talked tonight, but both her and I were in separate studio type locations tonight. You made it. You made it to the studio area.
Yeah, I literally just got here and then I was going over my pieces with my friend and I was like, and he's like, it's in the year 2023. Have you heard about Cece Flow's story where she achieved seven Grammys for these songs?
Word.
Oh my gosh, so excited. Oh my gosh. So we're going to be hearing a
So,
couple pieces from Cece tonight.
yes, that's true. And we're gonna talk about some good stuff. We're gonna talk about business ventures that she got going on. So we'll start it off with, how was your week?
My week was, thank you. My week was, um, it was okay. I tried to think about it. Uh, it was good. I got a new car, and I did finish a lot of a big project that I've been working on for a while, and it was because I wanted to make sure I delivered the client. And so, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Cece Flow. I go by Flow Cece Flow, just like Run Forest Run, because I too was once in a wheelchair. But now I only stand on my 2 feet to deliver cars and graphic art.
Nice.
And so I just got
So talk to us
like
about the awesome. So talk to us about the stuff that you do, the graphics and all the business stuff you do. So let's start with the graphics. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I mean, although we got a lot of people in the chat that totally know you, are total love fans of you, but we also might have some new people to you. So if you don't know her, holy moly, this girl's got so many things up the sleeve always. She's got so many incredible adventures. So Cece, tell us all the amazing things that you do and how we can connect to you.
Okay. I am a business owner and I own Cece Flow LLC, and it's for Cece Flow's creative and professional services. So with the creative side, that is basically if you want custom, anything customized for a loved one, such as greeting cards, a poem, you name it, I write it, is actually how it all kind of started, where people would just give me a donation and then give me what they wanted me to talk about, and then I would write either on live, like within 5 minutes, or I would just, like, they couldn't FaceTime because some people wanted me to prove it. So that's kind of how it all started. I was doing customized greeting cards, comic book strips, and then I added the professional side because I have human resource. I actually went to school for human resources, and so I did resume writing since I was 15. And so resume writing, cover letter, job profile setup, those are my heavy hitters, to tell you the truth. That's like where a majority of my orders are from. And I just want to let you guys know, and anyone in the audience watching this on a replay or right now, please do not have an AI bot write your resume. We can see it. You can't see it, but we can see it, and the bots can see it too. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
Ooh,
Like, this is
okay.
crazy. So AI bots are now writing resumes and everything now. Oh, that's crazy. That's frightening. That is frightening.
I
Don't do
remember when
that.
we
Don't do
talked
that.
privately, we touched on that. Yes, talk to us about the
Yeah.
AI. What are
So
your thoughts
I
about
had
it? How do you feel about it?
I had a client send me their original resume, and I was just going to revise it and touch it up and cater it so that things like Indeed or LinkedIn will be able to pull it up as these websites that we use. Keywords. So for human resources, interviewing, or maybe payroll specialist, UKG. So if an AI bot is, when I pulled the resume and I kind of copied and pasted over into a different document because I was going to restructure everything, it gave me a whole bunch of symbols. And I was like, a whole bunch of characters, a bunch of money signs, explanation marks. Just, I was like, wait, I'm confused. So I even went and opened like my notepad and like pasted it there, and it was the same code was coming up. So then I used a different generator. Basically, it tells you what the file is made of or like where its origin is from, and it definitely was an AI bot. So if your phone is not ringing, it's because the AI bot will not see you as authentic. It'll see you as another bot. So just come to me if you guys need help with your resume and your cover letters. And I got you.
I just put it in that chat. Don't use the AI bot. Don't use the AI bot.
Our yes, Leon is finally here. Our pretty much the whole team is here interviewing Cece. Leon, welcome. Of course, we were talking about AIs. We were talking about her business and what she does and stuff like that. So now we know, don't use the AIs. Who created that idea of AIs is what I think I want to understand.
Somebody that wanted to make the world a better place. Sarcasm.
But is it really a better place though?
Well, there's some benefits from an AI. Sometimes even as a writer, you might be stuck on a line, or you might be stuck with how to phrase something because you are recognizing too much repetition in the way that you're writing. And you're like, oh, how can I make this sound better? Sometimes you're just lazy. You don't feel like writing it. So, so there's, I guess what
I'm glad that you brought that up.
I guess I just feel with like younger generations. It's like, really? Because we had Spark Notes. I mean, that's how we shooting, but now they have whole AI.
I definitely work with teenagers. Yeah, I work with teenagers, and that's kind of this GP chat that was a huge talking point that we just started talking about in one of the classes. And again, some of us don't know how to write, and so that's kind of like some of us don't know how to paint. So we go to the AI generator, and we can get now artwork. Some of us can't make our own beats.
All of your information and all of your
I know. So I'm glad that we're talking about this, because I think this is bad. I think this is bad because, again, I thought no, they're not coming for the artist jobs, the creator jobs, but no, their technology is coming for our jobs. We can't let this happen. Because again, you might not hear the music, you can chat it in. And I love that you're bringing this up, Cece.
Going into human resources, I always would think back to why I wanted to go to college for what I went for. I wanted every day to be different, or I wanted to be challenged. I wanted to have a career path where it was job security. And so with me, I was always like, oh, human resources, they can't replace a human resource person like a robot. So I used to always picture back to Willy Wonka. And then when they were getting laid off from the factory, and I'd always think, okay, security. And then I got into HR and actually compliance more than anything. I hate firing people. That was not the business. But then I just kind of decided, I was working crazy long hours, and I missed a lot of time with my kids. And so I'm a mom. I have essentially a 14-year-old and 13-year-old. My stepson is Benicio, and he's just turned 14 last week. And then my oldest son, Bubby, he is 13, and then I have a 5-year-old. And so, man,
that's a busy house. That's a busy house. And you're doing all this incredible stuff in the meantime. She's not just raising a family, but you're doing this, and you're connecting with other artists and other writers, and you're also working on your own stuff as well.
Yes, I also.
So what are you doing right now?
For all of our writers out here? I do book covers. That's kind of my thing right now. I actually really enjoy doing book covers. I do logos. Tarot Floor just came in here. That's one of my clients. I did a really nice feather graphic. I'll actually show. She does readings, by the way. So if anyone's looking for a past life reading, or if you guys would like crystal, keychains, this is what she made.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
Beautiful. I like that a lot. Oh, wow.
My sister made this one, and it has music notes with the wire.
Ooh.
Cool.
I gotta represent. But this is actually her logo right here. I'm gonna show.
And you created this for her. Okay.
Oh, yes, and actually Adobe's featuring this as a stock image.
Oh my gosh, really? Well, of course. Let's see it.
Okay. Sorry.
No, of course.
Oh, no, I'm talking to my computer.
I talk to you back. I can't do silence. Oh, wow. It's starting to get in focus now, but the color choice of that is...
Wow, that is amazing.
And that's her logo that you created?
Wait,
Sorry, I had a call.
I can't tell if it's No, it's okay. I can't tell if it's my internet here too, because I don't have the best internet connection here as well. Oh my gosh! Wow. I'm seeing there's like a little bit delay on my other screen, but just to see it again, that feather is incredible. How long did it take for you to do that?
About 6 hours because of the droplets that I applied, like space between things.
Yeah.
The space between things usually takes the longest. The crystals, the detail. It's the details for me.
It looks like very intricate. Like it looked like it took longer than 6 hours, to be honest. Because I know you've been showing us another piece of yours that you've been working on for a client. The individualized petals, and that's been taking you quite a long time.
Yeah.
So again, like
it definitely did.
Incredible.
Sorry, I was looking for it right now.
Did she reach out to you? No, you're fine. Did she?
Actually, because of the feather that I did for Tarot Flow, she put it on her social media and was like, if anyone's looking for graphic design, like, this is who you want to go to. And so that's where the tree came from, literally, like within the same hour. And so the tree is something that I've been working on for a while. And I just wanted to make sure that I delivered what the client really wanted, because she had already gone through a few graphic artists who were unable to give her what she seen in her head. So it took me a little bit of time. I'm pulling it up right now. It took me a little bit of time because I did each tree individually. Hold on. Desktop. I have so many stuff, guys. Like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. How many things I have? There it goes. Logo. Okay, recover single asset. Now Illustrator is taking forever. 1 second. So,
sorry, it's okay. I'm just going through your history, your resume already. Just again, if you're just joining us, we're just going over this amazing guest here, Cece. But if you don't already know, if you need help with your resume or your cover letter for your career goals, please check out darling Cece down there. If you need some sort of graphic arts for a logo or book cover, she's showing her artwork right now. It's fucking fantastic. It's phenomenal. Leon, I mean, I know you've been chatting and partners with Cece and talked to her a few times. Like, what do you think of our guest here tonight? First of all, hi, Leon.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Cece, Randy. First and foremost, I want to say that your hustle just for creative wise and just supporting other artists, it's absolutely amazing. It's inspiring, it's encouraging, and I've really just been looking forward to interviewing you. And then I just found out from Andy just as of today, I'm going on the story that you sing as well. And I was like, wow, okay, you sing too.
Yes, we got her.
I call myself a flowetry artist.
It's incredible.
There you go. Hashtag flowetry.
Poetry. So here's another thing I talked about. He was like, oh, you know, she's a rapper too. She freestyles. And I was like, really? And it's like, yes. So honestly, like, this was my idea, and hopefully you're down for it. I like, even if it's just for 30 seconds or a minute. I never done this in a long time with somebody, so I think it would be awesome. Yes, cipher. Yeah.
I found the tree, guys. I found the tree, by the way.
Yeah, exclusive.
Yeah.
Oh, let me see the tree.
See awesome. I've been checking this out week by week. Here it is. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That is so beautiful. Wow, that's stunning.
Andy, we've seen the progression on this. That's like so.
When she first showed up in our open mic live. Yeah, when we did the first open mic live on the Unraveled Influence, she showed it to us, and now here it is, the final piece, the final installation of that, which is so amazing. For those who are just coming in right now, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're going live with Cece Flow.
That's a heart.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, the yellow. I see it. Wow.
Now that did not take 6 hours. That did not take 6 hours. That's one, no.
Oh, no. Definitely didn't. It took me a while. I kept wanting to come back to it because it was kind of a back and forth thing where she was like, and not quite. not quite. And so with that last day it was actually this week, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get this done. Like, this is gonna be done. I have to close this out. It's the longest order I've ever had open, and I just really wanted to deliver that vision, because I felt bad, the fact that she had gone through so many different graphic artists, and then she gradient, so she wanted this gradient here. So I pulled up my Illustrator. She wanted gradient here, so then that is like, it was a different technique with the new type of hold on, this is gonna bother me. See, this is what I'm talking about. Hold on. Look, the heart needs to be like that.
Artists. You just OCD
Wow.
onto the T, and it's got to be precise. I love it.
So
You gotta love
I got a
We're
question
streaming
for
live,
those who
man.
don't. Yeah. So for those who don't really know, walk us through the process of when it comes to using programs like this to create this. My question is, did you create this exactly from scratch on the program? Is it
Yes.
something like you drew like an outline and then put it?
So,
Like, walk us through
there's
that.
something called an image trace, and I also have a bamboo slate with a pen. So basically, I can draw things. So I looked up the shape of how to do a trace on what's called an origami leaf, a petal, because she kept telling me cherry blossom tree. So I'm going to show you. Oh, wait, that's too much. So cherry blossom tree, I was like struggling, like, okay, cherry blossom. So then I had to be like, okay, well, what is the depth of a cherry blossom? What are the types of cherry blossom? And then I realized, okay, there's sakura. So I thought origami, this is an origami petal. So one
Okay.
by one, you make the first leaf. So after you make the first leaf, and as you can tell, each leaf is different, each petal is different.
Okay.
Wow.
Each one has something unique about it, and then making these all iridescent. The space and the detail that goes into that, and then the gradient with the tree.
Yeah.
So I started with the actual. I started with, literally one petal at a time. And then I built it. See,
so
even very small details like this, like I said, it's the details for me.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, the layer really adds as as you're focusing far away. It's those little intricate details that really add to everything. Like, that's incredible.
And I'm so proud of
this
thing. I'm just so proud of it. And I even made her 3D. Like, I had made it's called materials, like their substance. It's part of the Adobe software, and where you can make 3D things that have different types of the way that it looks, like the material. It looks like a material item. So I'm really dabbling into that right now. Yeah. And I was gonna start messing around. What was the other one you told me? What was it? The with the character, the animator? Oh, Adobe character. I'm gonna start messing around with making, like VR, and I'm also looking into. I'm learning about it right now is augmented reality too. So people who have.
I was gonna say, are we going into some sort of animation? Is animation coming down?
Yeah, like those virtual tours, like virtual tours.
All right. I love this.
Wait, I was gonna say, Leon, did you have any questions you wanted to ask as well?
Yeah. Question that I wanted to ask is, so what would you say was your first love out of all the things you did? Was it the singing? Was it the rapping? Was it the drawing?
It was the writing. I actually can't draw on real paper.
Really? Oh wow. Okay. Wow.
I can paint a little, but with digital arts, it's just, I guess it's because I can see it better. I feel like it's because I can see it better. And the way that the pen feels when it's digital is different than when it's on the paper, because I'm usually complaining about a pencil, or it's not sharp enough, or it's not gliding, or maybe there's a texture underneath the paper, and so I'm picking up a different transparency. So I'm very meticulous, and but the writing has been that's been my savior.
So with writing, is it just writing, just your whole thing, like how you normally would write, or is it music writing, or poetry, or is it diary?
So
what's your writing? What's your passion? Yeah, I think that's really I was going with that.
So some of you who may not know my backstory, and I'm trying to kind of separate myself from my trauma, but it is a huge part of why I am a creative soul. So when I was 4 years old, I lost both of my biological parents in a car accident on Christmas Eve of '94, and I was the only survivor. And I've had a lot of trauma. I used to have flashbacks and nightmares, and I hated Christmas. Still don't really care for it, but it's not a hate. And so going through the physical part was the longest. Wasn't the longest. I'm sorry. It was the easiest for me. And I say that because it took about 2 years before I was actually able to. I had to learn how to walk all over again. I was in a wheelchair. I was in Johns Hopkins for almost a year. And
wow,
I had body casts and broken jaws and everything, but it took me a while to realize that they weren't coming back. I didn't understand what dead meant. And so I remember the very moment my aunt and my uncle adopted me, and I already had a bond with them. I loved going to their house. So it wasn't anything that was out of the ordinary. And I was eating scrambled eggs one day, and they just were I was oh, I'm not going to eat these. I'm going to save them for my mommy and daddy. When are they coming back to get me? And then that's when it dawned on me, when they told me, when you go to heaven, you don't come back anymore. And so at that point, I couldn't talk. Literally, I just
yeah,
I went to shock.
Imagine.
And
your entire mind is just you're probably flashing right back to that whole everything's connecting all of a sudden at once, and you're just fucking in shock. It's reliving the trauma all over again, and now it's reliving your whole future. Thank you. Wow. And then writing came from this.
Writing was actually, they already seen that I had a gift even before my parents died. I was actually already reading, and I was already reading Mr. Brown Could Moo, Can You? That was my first Dr. Seuss book, and it was one of my favorites. And I remember just being blown away by Dr. Seuss. He made that word up, and it's not a real word. And so I would tap into my escape. I would visit my parents on paper. I would be a normal kid. I wouldn't be an orphan on paper. I would be whoever I wanted to be, and I found freedom in that. And so they had me journal, so they had me start journaling because I was holding in a lot. And then, of course, behavioral issues, acting out, fighting, just because you're so, kids are really cool. There was a kid that put PTA sheets all over my desk and circled parent and crossed out parent and circled guardian, because I didn't have a parent, I had a guardian. I got orphan, kids are cruel. And so I'm writing, I didn't get bullied. I was normal. Writing, I was free.
Yeah. No, I relate to the whole bullying part, because I was bullied growing up too, just because I was, I was different from all the other students and stuff like that. I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned about being in the wheelchair and stuff like that. And I think my curiosity, because I've never been through anything like that. So I guess my question to you is, what was the process like when you were trying to transition into, let's say, from that time you were in the wheelchair to try to get out? I know there's the rehabilitation and stuff like that, but what was as far as, if you could remember, or come back to, as far as what was going through your mind, how real is that struggle? Because I think that's something a lot of people don't talk about.
Well, let's see. After the accident happened, which I remember vividly, I was sitting in the back seat behind my mother, and we were pulled over on the side of the road. Our turning light signal had caught on fire and faulty wiring. And the state trooper came. My dad was out of the car talking to him. State trooper left, didn't like flares. We had no flashers. So he left us desolate on Christmas Eve on the side of the road. And my dad got back in the car and looked at me. He said, "Do you want to sit on your mom's lap?" One, my mom was a dental hygienist. Two, I had a blow pop in my Barney windbreaker that I was wearing that I was not allowed to have. She did not let me. Who got me? And then three, I was tired. And four, I wanted to suck my thumb, which I also was not allowed to do. But something spoke for me. Something spoke for me. And I got on my mom's lap. And the moment I got on her lap is when we were struck. And I went through the windshield, and I was ejected 100 feet away from the marker, and I was submerged in snow. My dad was trapped in, my mom was halfway in, halfway out. And the state trooper came back, and he was like, they're like, these are, I don't know if they're going to make it. And then he's like, where's the girl? They're like, what girl? Wow. There was no car seat. It was disintegrated. And they went back, and they found me on the other side. And I was in the snow, and they life flighted me to Johns Hopkins Hospital. And I stayed there for a long time. And when I woke up from being, when I woke up and I came to it, I do recall having a dream with my mom, and she talked to me on a telephone, one of those pink dial-up phones, and she was in a really well-lit kitchen, almost like Full House's kitchen, but not all that clutter in the middle. But she told me that they were okay. And then I remember waking up, and I'm like, where's my mommy and daddy? I need to tell them where I'm at so they don't worry. And that's just only like a very small part of it. I just remember there's presents everywhere, Sleeping Beauty everywhere, Cinderella everywhere. When I got into a certain type of wagon, that means I'm going into another surgery. If they let me drive a Power Wheels, I was going into surgery. When I woke up, my mouth was going to taste like whatever fruit for the anesthesia. I was going to be very itchy and irritated because I was in a body cast. I couldn't open my jaw. I couldn't feed myself. And so that was just a whole adjustment period. Kids were really mean to me there too. Oh, your legs don't work. Can't ride on this pony. Okay, well, let me hit you in the face with this Power Rangers yo-yo. So
I mean, I was going to say something about like anger, just being angered because something was taken away from you. But fuck that. No, that's bullshit. That's fucked up. I'm already like taking it back from the story, but to have to hear that on top of it is just unacceptable. But like, you're such a fucking light. I just want to take a moment because you're such a fucking bright.
So much respect for you.
Thank you for sharing that, because nobody would ever fucking that's your history, but that's where you were able to find your voice. But like, you're such a fucking bright light. Let's continue to hear from you, because I want to continue to hear the growth.
Right. Yeah, Leon wants to say something.
Absolutely, Leon, please.
Stories like that is like, you see people, some of the brightest people, some of the most people that shine bright, have some of the like traumatic, darkest stories. And
again, because that's avoided too. Like, that's another part of it too. Somebody didn't do their fucking job. They didn't do their job.
Well,
and
that guy actually only got 5 years probation, actually, and it was his third DUI. My dad was an activist. I do not think it was an accident, but I do have to tread lightly, so that's all I can say on this platform at this moment.
I get it.
Because when we talk, because I do want to talk about, because I know we were going to get into your music.
Wait, hold on.
I did want to
Angela.
your song, but we're going to go.
Yeah, but no, because I think he was trying to. No, because he was trying to say something. That's what I'm saying. You were going to say something, Leon. I apologize.
No, that's okay. Better get my thoughts together. Your story just reminded me of, I was in a car accident at 5 years old that could have went that like same exact way, where a car like the car that my mom and I were in like literally flipped 2 times down a hill embankment onto another highway, and the car was completely totaled, but like we survived. But I do think, even in the midst of the stories that we have that are so traumatic, it makes us stronger on the inside, but also, for the most part, more empathetic for people who are going through similar situations, because we're like, hey, look, I may have not walked completely in your shoes, but I get it. I get you. And when you had told me that story, it's like, wow, because that literally could have been like the same story with me as well. And so I just want to say thank you. I know that was not easy. And just for saying that, you are brave. And I feel that whoever hears this on the replay and on the radio, it's going to be a light to somebody else who feels like they cannot speak up. And so that's what this platform is. It's a soundboard. And that when people hear this, it may bring up emotions. It may make them emotional. It may make them upset. But at the end of the day, it will be therapeutic therapeutic because someone else will be like, I'm not alone in my pain. I'm not alone in my trauma. I'm not alone in my journey. There's someone else who understands. Even though I didn't go through the same they went through, I get it. And for that I think for the creativity that birthed, even out of that, it's like what Tupac said, the rose I grew from the concrete. Out of all the hardships and everything, you are still blooming amazing.
That is honestly, and it's so interesting because it's like we didn't even know each other until that one open mic. Somehow you found us, and here we are connecting and just having a great conversation, just talking about real stuff, real life that not a lot of people talk about. And like what you went through, that is insane. That is deep. That is wow, and the fact that you were still alive today to talk about it and to really it's just again, so much respect for you for that. And it's just wow. Like I say, you're beautiful, and it's just amazing to know that, you're not alone, and it's again, like, thank you for trusting us with this part of your life,
Thank you for giving me the space to share. And I do just want to kind of input too is that you can train your mind to let go. And I just recently discovered how to let go by my aunt, who is a life coach. If anybody wants her contact information, just let me know. But she basically seen me having anxiety one night, just a few weeks ago. And she said, I see you're getting wound up. My OCD gets ridiculous. I'll start with the toothbrush and the baseboards. It gets bad. And so she was like, sit down. She was like, what are you feeling? She's like, you don't have to tell me. She's like, give yourself permission to feel. And so I did. And said, now close your eyes. And think back to what is triggering you at this moment. And just give me everything that you feel right now until you bottom out. And I'm like, betrayed, hurt, nauseated, upset, rage. It just. And then she said, where do you feel confirmation ping? I said, right here in my heart.
Yeah.
And then she said, can you let it go? I said, yes. She said, when? I said, now? She said, let it go. Then I opened up my eyes, and she said, now think back to that trigger. And I did. I felt nothing. I felt nothing.
So I say that reminds me of that was a volcanic response. That's what that was. Because think about it, a volcano can live for hundreds to thousands of years. Eventually, that due to tectonic plate shaking and nature and whatever have you, that's gonna burst. But so the beauty of the volcano response is, when a volcano explodes, unfortunately, what comes out of it, the lava, the magma, the rocks, is gonna cause destruction. But in the midst of that, later down the line, what does a volcano cause? Where has volcanoes built? It built Hawaii. It built new land. It built new growth. Yes. And so I call that the volcanic response which happened to you.
So every day I journal. Wow. I journal every day to release that volcano, that eruption. Every day I journal, and I go back to any trigger I could think of, and I do at least one or two a day. And I'm working through issues, and so I was able to finally let it go, let what happened to me go.
Wow. So that describe to us that moment, whatever that exact day, that exact moment that it was, okay, that's it. I'm gonna let this go. Describe to us the process, I guess, with that, but also what was that pinnacle moment that made you say, that's it, I can't take it anymore? Describe that.
Just feeling heavy and weighted, and since she had taught me that little, I call it a mind trick, because it's just reprogramming your brain to think differently. Even the way we speak about ourselves, instead of saying I am tired, just say maybe I need some extra support, maybe I just need to take a moment. And so of course, after I learned this mind trick, I'm like, I feel like a superhero. I'm like, oh shit, wait till I get in my room with my journal and my pen, and all you guys are gonna go. And
right.
when I decided, that's the biggest trigger of my life. I usually can't look at car accidents. I get triggered. Yeah. I can't smell gasoline sometimes. I get triggered. I can't hear glass breaking. I get triggered. So it's almost like living in a show a lot of the times, because a lot of people don't realize certain scents, certain sounds. The song, there's a song, it's called I Can't, Another Day Without You, that my mom taught me how to dance to that song just months before they died. So I used to not be able to hear that song. And I want to hear that song. It's a beautiful song. And when I wrote it, it wasn't kind of working for me. It wasn't, I was like getting too caught up trying to block. So I made a voice recording. And I made the voice recording and then I basically closed my eyes, and everything that my aunt was saying when she was walking me through, I did it, because sometimes our mind will listen to an outside source before we listen to our own selves. And so I did it that way. And every night, that's what I do. But when I listened to it, I just felt like, I mean, of course, cry, like everything was coming out, just like the volcano. And then when I opened up my eyes, I seen an orb. I seen the turquoise orb. And if you guys look on my Instagram page, you go all the way to like one of my very first posts, you're going to see me performing on stage. That's the first time I ever shared my art in 2020 as my New Year's resolution. Never wanted to share my art because it's my soul and I feared rejection. But I decided for 2020 that I would share. Competed in my first slam, and there is 2 orbs that turn into one that stays at the base of me the whole time on stage, and it's bouncing in a different type of wavelength. It's not human, like it's not how we move. It's very erratic, and it's feeding me energy. So I seen that same orb when I opened my eyes, and I knew it was them. And then and I didn't feel sad. I felt all right.
Wow.
I think you just explained it right there. So I was going to ask, like, how long did it take? But you're saying it took so much time. You listen to the recording every night. You're journaling every night, and you're letting it all out.
Per trigger. That's per trigger.
Because exactly. Because I've had situations where people in my life really struggle with the PTSD from their own childhood trauma, and you're saying that this is what's really helped you by taking each trigger by trigger, time after time, to release and to let it go, and through the work from your aunt being able to do that.
Also,
thank you for sharing.
I will let you guys know about something else too, and I might as well be the spokesperson, but I used to suffer from night terrors, and I haven't had one in 8 years because I microdosed using magical mushrooms. So I will. I am a huge supporter of mushrooms.
I'm definitely interested in that. Definitely interested in that.
Just set your intention, people. Set your intention. It doesn't have to be about seeing things and feeling this. It's about tapping into your mind and regenerating and tapping into your soul. So I just want that out there. I was like mushrooms.
I have read a lot of medical studies about that, and they seem to have been getting really, really good effects for those kinds of things, especially people who have dealt with severe PTSD trauma and other more severe mental health issues. Those things have helped, along with some of the other studies that they've done and some of those pharmaceutical type of avenues. But with mushrooms, I mean, they're more organic, so I tend to.
Yes.
They
are, and there's I don't feel that they're habit.
Yeah.
They're not habit forming, because I have been placed on medications for my PTSD. I've been given Xanax. I've been given Seroquel. And sometimes you don't think that you can be an addict because the doctor's giving it to you, but it's not true. You end up relying on these medications because you feel like if you don't take that pill, you're going to have a bad day. Well, yeah, you are. So I haven't had to take any pharmaceuticals for any of my anxiety or my depression or anything like that. Since I was about
my sister needs to hear that right now, because she, oh my god, like I love my sister, but she does take like antidepressants and stuff like that. Like I wish my sister needs to hear that right now. That's all I gotta say about that. And I was gonna read some stuff from the comments, because I want to acknowledge everyone that's here and participating. Spoken_T1 says there's power in our pain. Tarot Flow says honoring emotions and being present. And what else? Somebody else says something.
I apologize for cutting off earlier.
4202 said peace. And Geo Master, what's up, man? So that's what I'm trying to see.
I have my friend saving all the comments as we speak too, so that I can go back and review it. So I had him save the comments too.
Beautiful.
I appreciate everyone.
Love for you tonight.
Love and support. it does mean a lot. And remaining present is a lot of the healing process as well. And there's a breathwork class that I took a few weeks ago, and texture. If you're ever getting too lost in your thoughts, start feeling. Feel your blouse, smell, taste, see something. Bring yourself back to where you're at, because that's the only part of you that you
tapping
control.
too. Tapping I've seen too.
And tapping,
I will
I
say
haven't
this
really worked. Doesn't
about
work. But everyone's different. But for
Just
texture.
Wait, real quick.
It has not worked for me. It has not worked for me either.
Real quick, yeah, if you guys have like questions you want to answer, I don't know if you have the latest version on Instagram, but there's like a little question mark bubble thing there, and you can type in your questions, and then we'll definitely look into that. So that way we can acknowledge everybody. And with that being said, what about what you're saying? I forgot. Oh, crap, I lost my train of thought. One thing, like when I get like that, my wife be like, okay, close your eyes and name three things you hear, three things you feel. And I mean, I'm just saying for me, that definitely helps, because my wife, okay, close your eyes, come on, stop, because you're going through a lot right now, you're thinking too much right now. Three things you hear, go right now, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Don't try to look for it, just first thing that comes to mind. And I know that helps me a lot. Like, it's like you were saying before, sometimes you have to just, okay, wait, chill, like hold up a second, because like you said, mental health is a real struggle. And it's just, I'm glad that we can talk about it when there was a time in life that we really could not talk about it. Because
there wasn't avenues or resources available to many people. And that's one thing I can say. I was raised in therapy. I was raised giving the tools I needed to heal, to understand. And I was never shielded from who my parents were either.
Right. Leon, you were going to say something. I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
It's okay. The breathwork method, friend is the work practitioner. He does the Wim Hof and the cold ice baths and cold showers. And for months on Telegram, his name is Daniel. We did breathwork meditations through like Wim Hof sessions and then through personal sessions, and then we would listen to binaural beats sometimes, and he does like flutes and everything. And I can tell you, like, a lot of people are not aware of just how effective breathwork meditation is. And we would do 20-minute sessions to 15-minute sessions. And really all it is just focusing on your breathing, your diaphragm, breathing into the mouth. And we would do this for about 15 minutes. And then, like, it's like you would...
It's like there's a band around your forehead and it starts to release.
Yeah, and you feel like pockets. You feel like pockets in your mind were open. Yeah, and like there was sometimes like I would feel tingly, and I'd feel like there was a glow around me, and that is basically when you're doing breath work. When you're just doing it, you're really tapping into your soul energy, into your soul, who you truly are beyond this flesh that you have, and so breath work, I can say from own experience, I definitely recommend. Of course, I recommend prayer to you as well. But breath work, I also recommend as a practice. If you're stressed, or if you want to decompress, or just if you want to just do it. Breath work, I'm definitely with that. And I'm all about natural like things. Like I love grounding. In
feet
like
on
summertime.
grass, if anyone doesn't isn't aware with grounding techniques. Me, it's usually water or sand, to bring myself back to earth, to bring myself back from anything artificial. And also journaling. When you journal, that's why I always preach journaling, because use paper. Don't have distractions from artificial light. Use paper, because that's the only way that you can seriously take 1,001 thoughts and make use of it.
Too. Yeah.
I just actually ran out of paper on my journal, so I have to get one today. Like, I just filled the last spot in.
So what I do sometimes, if I don't have access to a journal right away, like if there's a tissue, I'll write on a tissue. Like, I don't care. Like, I just have to write it down because I don't want to forget it. And George says, GeoMonster66 says, I work in the garden or chop wood. There was a time where I would just walk into the woods and disappear for a couple of days and forage and fish, and if fishing was available. That's what
I bet your face was so clear.
Yeah. There's something about, like, it's sad that in the 21st century, I mean, yeah, we have all this availability to technology, but we truly lost, really, we're losing what it feels like to connect.
Just
Not to
being
the internet,
outside.
but
And that's where I come in. That's where I come in as a business owner of Cece Flow LLC.
Yes.
Is I'm allowing artists who maybe you're a writer, but you're not really graphics, or maybe you have an idea, but you don't know how you film some things, but you need somebody to do video editing, which I also do, or you just need a different flair to bring your vision front and center. So instead of spending time on things that are making you more frustrated than providing fuel for your passion, then that's where I come into play. Like I said, book covers are my thing right now. I just finished one for Mr. L.A. Walker for his erotica that's coming out in June, called Love After. Yeah.
Yeah, I just was putting that into the chat about all the things that anybody out there has needs, even with your career goals too,
Word. Yeah, and I was going to say about the outside.
Interview prep skills.
That's big. That's big.
Nice.
You need to be able to think on your feet. And you don't know unless somebody's actually practicing with you. I've done
this
that.
Is true.
For teenagers, I've helped them, but like you probably really know how to do the real deal.
And body language is
word. And
body language.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. One thing I was going to say to add on to what you were saying earlier, because I mean, lucky for me, like I've always been the kind of guy, like if something stressed me out, I love to just walk around. I don't care what time. It could be at nighttime. It could be at daytime. Like in my case, I'm lucky now that I live in a house, so I have a backyard and I have a porch where I can just sit in the porch and I'll just stare. And that for me personally inspires me a lot. That it clears my head, if that makes sense. I just wanted to add that from earlier. You were talking about the stuff you were doing. Let's talk about music. I know you do music.
So let's talk about you said that writing really is. Oh, no worries. She's getting ready. She spoke earlier how writing is what had helped her kind of find a way to creatively speak on a lot of things, whether it's in a fantasy or dealing with things in her own life. But you also write music. I know you spoke on one of our lives also before that your first song that you wrote was called Rage. I know you're not going to perform that one for us. You're going to perform something else for us. But can you talk about like writing your first song, your thought process behind Rage, if that's okay? If not, we can
that's totally fine. I just had my friend get me a snack because I was like hungry.
No, please, you got to be comfortable. We got to keep you comfortable.
So with Rage, so I always was musically inclined. I was always in vocal like classes. My aunt, but I call her my mom. She raised me. She always said that all the kids had to either play an instrument or they had to learn how to read music. And so with me, I was like, I don't want to carry that big old tuba case. Like, I don't want to like, and so, thank you. I love cats. So thank you. I like cats. I always like cats, the musical. So, I did performing arts. Like I would have 7 roles in one play. Like I felt different when I was on stage. And so with music, it's weird. Everyone's like, oh, you had been writing forever. Like songs, actually, no. It came to me after George Floyd was murdered. And I remember seeing it on the news, and I was so disturbed. I couldn't sleep. I'm a mother too. My kids are mixed, and my oldest boy, he's dark complected, and so the thought process, like that could be my child. That was someone's child. Also, what my dad was going through, especially being a Black man married to a light complected woman. So something jumped into me, and I just couldn't sleep. And it's almost like I don't know. Explain it. It's almost like something jumped in me and wrote it for me. And so it just
whispered in your ear.
It just talked through my pen. And there was an instrumental. There was an instrumental that came up. I wonder if I can find it actually. I think I should be able to find it because I have some of it memorized, but it's been a long time actually since I've gone back to that piece. But the hook was like, rage we see from what we feel. Nightmares happen without falling asleep. Night terrors in eyes unblinked. Watching, but are you listening? Why are we marching, protesting, and rioting? Let me breathe.
Wow.
And that's the hook. And I just remember at that time I was in a really happy, thriving relationship, and he came home from work, and I said, I wrote a rap song today. And he's like, yeah, okay. And then he's like, let me hear it. So I busted it out, and then he was like, we've been together for 7 years. You're just not telling me that you can rap. I said, I've been alive for 30-something years, and I'm just now discovering I can rap. He took me straight to Guitar Center and started getting all like the studio stuff together.
Nice. Oh my gosh, wow. And this happened instantly because, again, it kind of flowed through you because of the passion that happened in that. Leon, I believe we were together when that subject matter is going to continue to come up for a long time because it's so important that we continue to talk about that subject. You know, George Floyd and so many others that we can name names until like
that
too many names. But
again, I was gonna say that and like when that happened, especially that exact thing, that angered the crap out of me. But it also made me sad because my son was only 1 at the time. Oh, he was just turning 1 year old. And I remember having this conversation with my wife. I'll never forget it. I'm like, babe, you know, when he gets older, and what if he's just walking down the street, he sees things like that? I have to explain that to him. And I don't even know how to explain that. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up in New York, and when I was growing up, you know, I used to see people sometimes get shot in the block for no reason. Because that's just the kind of neighborhood I lived in, especially in Bushwick, in Brooklyn, New York. And, you know, and every time I asked my dad, oh, what's going on? He would tell me, oh, mind your business. Like, don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Because whatever happens outside don't happen to us. Like, that's just how Hispanic mentality is. And it's just like, for years, even as I grown up, you know, there was a lot of things I didn't understand that it affected the way I behaved sometimes. And it's like, I don't want to put my son through that. Like, if he has questions, I want to be able to answer them. But I want it to be that, okay, you know what? It's okay if I don't have all the answers. I'm not afraid to tell you, listen, I don't have all the answers for you. Instead of just telling you, mind your business, don't worry about it. Because that's the thing. My dad was never the kind of guy that's going to be like, oh, you know, he was never the kind of guy that would admit he didn't know anything. Because whatever he said went, and that's it. And I don't want to be like that with my child. I refuse. Like, if I don't know, I'm like, listen, let me get back to you. Because I really don't know. Because I don't know how I'm going to explain that to him. Because he will ask me about that. I'm pretty sure years from now, because he's 4 now, so I'm pretty sure one time he's in like what 10th, 11th grade, whatever, they're probably gonna have a teaching about this in class or something like that. And it's like I wouldn't know how to explain something like that to him. And it's just crazy, you know, because it's like everything's just so exposed now because of technology. And the thing is, people think it's worse now. It's always been around. It's just that it just seems like it's worse now because of the technology we have.
The like the whole access that we have to
yes.
and to share them. And you know what, guys? I just found it. I just found the spot.
Okay.
Was able to find the lyrics for that, and I was able to find the instrumental. I had it in my old Gmail. So let me set my Capri Sun if you guys want to hear it. I don't own the rights to the instrumental. And I never did anything with this instrumental because, one, I feel like it was my vision for me to perform because I am not a Black man. So I can't, it just needs to be someone who truly understands it. So that's why I was going to try to sell it or try to find the right person for it. And I haven't been able to. All right, here we go.
I think that's really honorable, to say that too, because again, it's because George Floyd is the reference point. If you're just joining us, Cece's about to perform her first song ever. They went to Guitar Center the moment she dropped it in a live at home, and so thank you so much. I'm so excited. I've been dying to hear this.
Okay, so we're gonna see if I can remember exactly how the flow has been. It's been like a good 3 years or 4. So here we go. Okay. Again, I do not own the rights to this instrumental. I just want to do a quick sound check. Can you hear it? You can hear it?
Hear it, guys?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Start from the top. Black on black crime disguise, Black lives being taken by the law has been for all time. The patterns show no dice. This is life through our eyes. Time changes ways, yet things are still the same. And hate remains, and lies that matter left in disarray. We try to pray, no more suffering, injustice, society, unshackle me, let me breathe. You damn right we feel rage, beyond angry. Let us show you just how real it can be. Seeing that come after me, not a dream, reality of a minority society. Unshackle me, let me breathe. Screaming for peace. Is anyone listening? How long until an end comes to be of our racial sufferings? Society won't let us be, and unrelatable people wonder why we fear police. I plead whatever so the law won't systematically take me down from my feet, systematically kill me, systematically having a life lived free after my life was systematically taken from me. Media places on what's left of me irrelevancy, taking our souls for the matter lives won't bleed for the cause no more. Blood overflowed, flooded floors long time ago. The peace we scream for, bring the uproar, rage we feel from what we see. Nightmares happen without falling asleep. Night terrors in eyes unclean. Mercury, what are you seeing? Why are we marching, protesting, and rioting? All the eyes in the world you see, now do something. For the teens who can't walk while wearing a hoodie over their head, would they still be dead if the raindrops were just a little bigger? Would that dead man with a hoodie on the head still be such a trigger? Feeling a threat with gunshots in the back, what kind of sense do you make of that? Bloodshed, unarmed men, it's all a senseless act. It seems like these cops are magicians with these disappearing acts. Blatant disregard for another human being. Now that's a verified fact. Death of minorities by police brutality, 3 times more likely. Excessive force holds no complexity. Society views us in dark ways, but dark is the age. Bias, hate of dark still days, and darkness can be true for you, but you understand nothing until we exchange shoes. Woo, that's a heavy piece. I was like, wow, I haven't done that in so many. Wow. Woo.
Wow. I felt the emotion.
Oh man, rage we feel from what we see. Nightmares happen without falling asleep. Night terrors in eyes unblinked. Watching, but are you seeing? Why are we marching, protesting, and rioting? Let me breathe. Woo! Wow, that's a heavy piece. That's a heavy piece.
Wow.
Wow, that's the first song I ever wrote. I was like,
sorry.
Wow.
I was muted. Andy, I had goosebumps from here. I was trying to show y'all. Like,
Yeah.
you goosebumps all the way over here. That was so fucking incredible. Leon, I know you have something to say. Leon, I know you have something to say.
Yes.
Leon,
you and I had a conversation. We had a conversation earlier, and I happened to mention a piece that would you better read that piece right now about Do You See Me? Because this is a piece he read on my podcast when we first had an interview. And I just happened to just bring it up. I didn't know we were even going to talk about this. And it just so coincides. Leon, you have to read your piece right now before, like, you just have to.
Okay. So I'm trying to, but my tablet for some reason is acting
That was a liar,
so slow.
bro.
No, he really is though, because we literally were talking about that. But you know what? I was so inspired by that. I could do a freestyle cipher on how like that made me feel. And I was gonna go piggyback off of the Let Me Breathe. Let me see. So I don't know until it loads up, which for some reason it's acting up.
All right, no,
hold
because
on,
we want the freestyle.
one more time.
We want the freestyle. That's why it's happening.
All right, okay. So here we go. So let me breathe. Will we as a people ever be at ease? As I say it, I'm speaking to us now and overseas. It seems for centuries, all we do is bleed, and all we trying to ask for is grace and mercy. I'm trying to wonder as we stomping like thunder, as people all in one wonder, trying to get to this temper. We're all tempered. We're all enraged. And you know how many times we just try to engage. It seems like we're born for the grave. Because every single time we stand up, we get slapped and afraid. But will we stand up even when in handcuffs? Because it seems like the system is like, oh shucks. It seems like we've been built to fail. When you see a black man, he gets crucified like Jesus with the nails. It's so sad, so many stories to tell, and so many people got shrugged shoulders like, oh well, it's 2023, 400 centuries, and I still see the systematic slavery just breaking us down while we try to be muscle bound, going pound for pound. This world just feels like a boxing ring. And you know what? Liberty and victory is what we sing. Like Martin Luther King when he said, I have a dream, or more like Malcolm X when he said, by any means, from Black Panthers to Black Wall Street. It seems every time we raise up, there always is this heat. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps. So we try to rap. Oh, come on. I see this world in the ultimate collapse. Why won't you see the just unity? How I see you bleed and breathe, you and me, just you and me. It don't matter, because skin deep, we're more together. I really hope this division don't last forever. But until it do, let me be a voice for the awoken. This is how it is. I want to speak peace, and I ain't joking. And Cece, thank you for the inspiration. I hope these words will just infiltrate and inspire a different nation.
Deep.
Oh, wow. Both of you all. Seriously. Hell yeah.
Wow.
I got to, Andy, I'm done. I got to get out of here. That was so fucking incredible.
I retire. That's it.
I know. Andy, I'm done. I'm throwing in the towel.
I just wrote mine.
Here we go. Another one. Here we go. Cece, yes.
So my process is usually, I can freestyle or freestyle. That was dope. But sometimes with my process, I have to, I gotta write it. I guess, I don't know, sometimes I feel it more. So I just wrote this right now.
Okay.
Wow.
On the side with the cylinder blocks, lost souls as a life was taken to just be a loss. What's a complexion? What's a protection? A complexion is your loss of protection. What's in the slavery with whips and chains mercilessly, finding the melanated tone being the shade that's been torn, yet keeping faith and trusting in the Lord Jehovah as we plead to Jesus just to be free. The abolishment of slavery was just another traded frequency, because the slaves are still being beat frequently, even if it's mentally, emotionally, into another type of breed. They don't like us mixing with things into another kind of lock and key, getting lost in the hate of things, only to find that the blackest berry is the sweetest thing.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm.
Wow. This is a clinic, everybody. We are being put on a clinic by Cece and also Leon on how to freestyle, drop the mic, and tell everybody to fucking open their hearts and listen, because this is fucking real. I'm so honored, both of y'all. Thank you so much for this right now. I gotta mute myself again. I need a minute. Andy, you gotta take over. I need
Okay. She's about to cry right now. This is, oh my God. Okay. This is what I live for. This is what I love. I'm glad you guys said yes. You and Angela, just to do this project with me and to revamp this podcast into a community so we can just have pretty much a place for a safe space for your voice to be heard. That's pretty much what our slogan is. And it's just, I knew right off the bat, and you, like, this is just God confirming me, like, this was the place to go. This was the thing to do. Nobody else is doing this. I want to be the bridge that creates others to be inspired to do what we're doing right now. And
Absolutely.
This to me was confirmation is
Andy,
what this was. And
I agree with you, Andy, 1,000%. I just got to thank you, Cece, so much for, first of all,
I'm on cloud
so
nine.
to open up and just be yourself, and Leon as well, to be just who you are, just be you. Thank you for being yourself and being open to share and continue this conversation with us tonight. because this is not the only song that we're going to be hearing from Cece tonight. Because I know
Yes, come on.
Some more stuff, but I don't want to end this conversation because this conversation just needs to be
Yes.
again. Thank you for both. Like that. Like, let's continue that conversation. Like, those voices need to be heard. These lyrics need to be said. And everybody who's with us tonight gets to see it live. And anybody that is going to hear on the replay, I mean, I had goosebumps the first time. And I'm just like, again, holy shit. Thank you all so much for that tonight. Leon, what else do you got to say for yourself?
I'm on cloud 9. I'm on cloud 9 right now.
Cloud 9? Cloud 9. They just said cloud 9. Sorry, that was something somebody back here said.
Hashtag cloud 9.
Leon, is your thing working now?
Unfortunately, no. That part is literally 2 hours ago. I literally just read the poem to Andy, and he's like, "Oh man, you got to read it live. You got to do that in a live." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. I can't wait." And now that I'm trying to do now it wants to act brand new on me. But it's so still came with the out. But when I want
Leon. Oh, sorry, there's something you guys just reminded me of. Because recently, when I was going to Alabama, we stopped the night in Tennessee, and I met our last Wednesday. I met Gina, who is Black Widow poet, but not just that, there's a gentleman there. He goes by Frizzy. He is the person who runs, or him and his partner run Poets Playground. And he's definitely another person who's an advocate of, having voices be heard in this poetic format that maybe, a lot of, I teach in a urban district, and a lot of my students, they tend to follow rap, but there's also poetry and spoken word that is the voice. This is a great avenue for youth and for people who don't necessarily feel like they have a voice. Do you think poetry is a good place for us to continue to have that voice, Leon? And do you think more spoken opportunities, open mic opportunities for youth and just people in general who just never had a voice, is that what we're seeing? Is that what we should be doing?
I think so. I was going to say that for me personally, writing is also something that got me through my teenage years. Like the times when I was personally depressed, when I was personally sad, when you hear those hashtag music is life or hashtag writing is life, that is such a true statement. And I thank God for the gift of the ability to write and the ability of creativity. And there's so many kids who are going through so many problems and they don't have a good, healthy outlet. Instead, they're fighting, they're screaming, they're kicking, they have all these, and unfortunately, some may come from broken homes. Only way they feel they can let things out is through, unfortunately, negative, toxic behaviors. Whereas in, writing, that's a healthy outlet. That's therapy. That's therapeutic. So yes, spoken word, poetry, making music, all of that stuff is for, to help better. Not only that, but writing does something for the soul. Just like how Cece or you, Andy, and you, Angela, we may not have gone through the same life paths, but when we read our words, or if we read your words, we all connect to that. There's that connectivity, that structure. It's almost like the DNA. How the body just connects with itself, and the cells, as you are with biology. How fascinating that is. It's the same thing with writing. When we write, we're like, okay, I'm just writing for myself, but you don't even realize your writing may be the very thing that saves someone else's life.
Right.
Yeah, but
giving yourself 10 minutes, at bare minimum 10 minutes a day to journal is your self-care. Meditating is your self-care. It's taking time for yourself and just for yourself to tap into yourself. And so sometimes I preset my journal prompt, and then sometimes I go off the beaten path because, I had that type of day.
Yeah. So that's just really good advice out there if you're just joining us, although quite a few of you have been with us for a while now. We are talking with Cece. She's already performing one of songs for us. She performed her first song that she ever wrote, Rage. Now, you did have another one that you were going to perform for us tonight. Is this the new one you were talking about? What's going on with this song? So
Okay.
What's the song? What's the hook? What's the theme? Where did this come from?
There's not a hook for it. Sometimes I do just a freestyle type of flow. Or of course I'm writing it. So I have a friend that's been working with me since June. I did a big show out here in San Diego called the Underdog VIP and actually won Best in Show. The best overall. And it was the biggest show I ever did. It's the biggest show I've ever done. I had a 30-minute set. I was having technical issues and I'd actually just amped my performance because I was getting a lot of feedback from the mic. The guy was a hater. He was like, the way he positioned everything, it didn't work. And so I was walking through the crowd to get away from the feedback. You got to think on your toes. But anywho, my friend that's been working with me has been he started recording me in the studio. It's Studio West out here. It's where Alicia Keys, she records there, and they did all the Transformers post-production. It's a major studio. So he's like, I'll give you studio time here. And he was like, he gets 4 hours a week and he doesn't charge me. So I go and I record. And then he was like, I want to ask you something. He said, I know you just started writing music and stuff. He said, but how are you structuring? Excuse me. He said, how are you structuring everything? I said, what do you mean? He's like, he's like, are you using rhyme schemes in rap battle? Are you using these kind of rhyme schemes? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then he was like, it's almost like you're playing darts and you're blindfolded, but you're throwing the dart and you're damn near getting it right in the middle. And he's like, so if you start learning structure and you start dissecting the bars of some of the greats, he's like, because you're already great. He's like, I think you can go to legendary. Yeah. He's like, I think you could be one of the greats. Seriously. And I was just like, what is this rhyme scheme you speak of? So, and I started building. And like I said, he's been working with me since June. We've been, we have our writing sessions. He's we watch YouTube videos. He's drilling it into me. And so with this piece,
that sounds good. That sounds like a really good mentor because again, even a comedian, you gotta work and you gotta study, you gotta actually go through the craft. So that's a great mentor situation happening for you too, for sure.
Absolutely. And I also gave him. I was like, I feel like you're giving me so much to amplify me as an artist. It's what can I do for you? How can I give back to you? And so I'm basically building his brand, and I'm going to basically make him an artist development type of music, audio engineer, whatever. I'm building his brand as we speak.
Awesome. And if he wants to be on this podcast, you can invite him and we'll definitely interview him.
Super introverted, really behind the scenes, but I will ask him.
Hey.
We do pre-recorded. It doesn't have to be live.
He does not like people.
Sure.
He doesn't like people.
Most of our people don't like people.
Wait, what were we going to say, Leon?
Oh, so I want to add on to, so the thing about rapping, that's so interesting. I didn't have a mentor. And so even when I write in English, I would be writing stuff and my teachers, you write good, but you're always running sentences.
Oh, they use the
because I sucked at punctuation. I was just. Yep.
You're a semicolon kind of guy. Me too. Hey, Allen Ginsberg did too.
But yeah, when it came to rapping, same thing with me. I didn't know the structure of, you need to have 16 bars, then a verse, 16 bars, then a verse.
On the fourth.
It was just, I would let it. Yep, I let it flow, and then when I feel like I need to get to the chorus, I would do it. But yet, I can naturally do it. So what I did is, I would start. I did the same thing. I started studying Big Pun, Tupac, Black Thought, Rock Him. I'm like, you can go down on my
Big Daddy
I've been
thing.
studying Aquemini.
Aquemini. Yep. So I just studied all of that, and it was almost religious. Almost, I would go home, pop CDs in and listen, and I would put a paper and listen to instrumentals, and just be like, okay, just to perfect it. And I feel like I'm a little rusty now in my like writing, but yeah, it really helps. And I can say that the fact that me learning that about you, yeah, your flow is really, really good. It reminds me of like Lauryn Hill.
I've heard that before,
Mm.
and I heard Erykah Badu.
I love Erykah Badu.
So,
Oh my God.
but between like left
Or
side,
even Queen
But I
Latifah. I see a little
really
Queen
want to be
Latifah
like
in there
Biggie,
too.
guys. With my Beretta, putting all these holes in your sweater. So that's what I meant about this piece, though, is that I was trying to identify the switching cadence, the double entendres, the punchlines, every part of the equation I was trying to capture. To me, I still know I need work, but I am very, very proud of this piece. I'm actually a really fast songwriter, so I actually have to retrain my brain when it comes to writing rap and not go all poetry, because you fall into that poetic habit. And so I'm trying to not do that.
Can we dissect the two for some of us who might not? I mean,
a poetic habit is more of a free flow. It's just you're speaking, and even if it's rhyming on the tail end, in rap, you want your inner, your middle, and your tail ends to all sound the same. You got to tighten that structure up, and then the punchline. So you would actually write the fourth bar first as your punchline, then you write the 1, 2, 3.
Work backwards.
Fill it in.
Oh,
And instead of
I didn't.
thinking
Okay.
thought,
I
it's
love
not.
that.
It's speak. It's almost like speak and then think instead of think and then speak.
Yes. How am I
So-
Wow.
punching it?
Okay.
It's
Then what? How do I leave to the punch? So here's the smack. How did I wind it back?
yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
And this is so this piece we're about to go through. This is the one that's been really crafted. That's been based off of the research, the studying, the mentorship. So we're gonna see a real high level here. I'm super excited. Did you make a decision on what we're gonna do for the instrumental piece?
Wait. So, question. I just want to ask you something because last night when when you meet in Cece, I wanted to ask. When you and I were talking, you would show me two different ones. Are you gonna do both, or are you gonna do one of them? I think you should do both. I'm just saying.
Okay, I can do both. Only because I'm still trying to decide. Because I know we're gonna have to I gotta eat dinner soonish. So yeah, I can definitely do I'll do both, and then maybe you guys can tell me which one you like the most, because everyone that's heard it is like kind of they don't know.
Are they split? Are you kind of like a 50-50 mix here?
I'm really like a 50-50.
Andy and Leon, we could be the deciders. We could be the deciding factors. Everybody
Listen,
in the chat is
we're
fine.
gonna you heard it first here on Unraveled
We
Influence.
do it here. We're trendsetters. We're tastemakers, and we help artists out.
Chicken sound good?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was asking my friend if chicken sounded good.
I'm about to eat after this too.
Okay, so
Word.
here we go. I do not own the rights to this instrumental just yet because I'm still trying to decide. So just make sure you guys put that in there so that in the comments and pin it so that this doesn't this doesn't get disabled.
Absolutely.
Okay. So this instrumental is called Sea Pimp. So funny. It's like what? Like Little Mermaid's guys over here making people check it to a real one. Okay. Coffee. My Beretta, putting all these holes in your sweater. Sorry, it's stuck in my head. I do that when I get nervous. Can you guys hear?
I can.
I'm upset, can't you tell? Guess not since I do not yell. As I caught my rail, dear Ungie, I hope you're well. I am ill, unjamming, chamber sets a thrill. No heat on chill, no beans on spill. I will just pop you like a pill. Taste the fear, my sweet dear, cock it crystal clear. Simmering on the rear, lost in flames of sheer. Misplaced by others, being misplaced by others. Unlaced upon the stage, my wander interminate. Well, it bothers. Not imposter, illness, I foster. Shrillness, a monster, stillness, just like some water. You should have never crossed her. Filled you with astonishment, not quite a punishment. You just a contaminant, living in an afterlife testament. Reach super flames, juice in your veins. Written these things, tuning these twangs. Set you ablaze, not your rage. More disengaged, fans of race. Leap of faith, prominent. Submissive, now dominant. I'll crucify you to the parliament. Hell's new occupant. Fact deemed the tears falling at the right pace. You cannot undream the real, you're at the right place. Feel the deal, tightly sealed, nothing is a waste. Maybe it's just that taste. Gouge eyes up out your face. Pout drops mark a tray, transition without grace. Unsimple-ish, I have to taste with these beats stacked on these plates that you put up in my face. Psychosis in my way, diagnosis, call it fate. Cause what you broke will only break, and what you give, you will get until you beg. Make it stop, I wish I could, but I cannot. Rules of push and shove, you got the right one. You found me on one and let you off, then I'd have to be the wrong one. Storms spew for too long, like the lies you spew deep into the earth as you become maggot food. Chew to chew you, just like you broke me right through and through you. I'm just following the golden rule. I was lost in a frequency. I got caught in tranquility. I watched me fill up with toxicity. I fought to unleash my disease as I lifted myself free from this leech. I think I have to just kill you even if it's in my mind. I just freestyled the actual ending because my timing was a little bit off, but it's alright.
Yo, that was fire. Oh my God.
All right, wow. I like the first beat so far. I don't know how the second one's going to do, but the first one's great. Andy, you already know.
You ready for the second one?
Yes, do this.
I was like, I hope it's not redundant that I'm doing the same lyrics, but I can't.
I don't think so. I think because with the background, we've got to hear it fresh with both, so we can make a full. Because listen, everybody gets a vote. Everybody out there gets a vote. I liked one so far.
I'm upset, can't you tell? Guess not since I do not yell. I just caught my rail, dear NG. Hope you're doing well, cause I am ill. Unjamming chamber sets a thrill. No heat on chill, no beans on spill. I will pop you like a pill. Taste the fear, my sweet dear, cock it crystal clear. Simmering on the rear, lost in frames of sheer. Misplaced by others, being misplaced by others. Unlaced upon the stage, my wonder interminate starts to bother. Not an imposter, illness I foster. Shrillness a monster, stillness just like some water. You should have never crossed her. Fill you with astonishment, not quite a punishment. You're just a contaminant in an afterlife testament. Loose from flames, juice in your veins, rooting these fangs, twinging these twings. Set you ablaze, not enraged, more disengaged, bands of rage. Leap of faith, prominent, submissive, now dominant. Crucify you to the parliament. Unify, help new occupant. Packed in the tears, falling at the right pace. Can I dream the real came to the right place? Feel the deal, tightly sealed, nothing is a waste. Maybe it's just bad taste. Gouge eyes out your face, pouch drops marker tray, transition without grace, unsimple-ish. I taste beef stack plates you put up in my face, unpsychosis in my way, diagnosis call it fate. What you break will only break, what you give you will get until you beg. To make it stop, I wish I could but I cannot. Wars a push and shove, just know you got the right one. You found me on one, let you off, then I'd be the wrong one. Like the lies you spew deep into the earth, you become maggot food. Chew to chew to chew, broke me right through and through and through. I'm just following the most golden rule. Treat others how others treat you.
Wow. Well,
Now,
that is okay.
Yes.
That was a good one.
Yes.
Now I see why it's people are undecisive because both beats were. Oh my God! You know that one of them could be the original, one of them could be the later remix. Just saying.
I feel like the second one would be the remix.
Oh,
I would say
the same
number one.
thing. That's crazy. You
I feel
said
like
that.
the second one would be the one I performed with a live band.
The second one
Ooh.
smooths it out,
The number one
slows
was
it a little bit more soul.
This is true.
like it. So number two, when you're singing, it complements like that breakaway part. It complements your voice more when you're singing. And number one, it just seems like something like Kendrick Lamar did.
Ooh,
Wow,
you know
hold on a
what?
second. What is,
Yeah.
That's a good compliment.
That is. But you know what? Then I think the second one. Then, yeah, I think.
passion in your believable? You sounded absolutely amazing, and yeah, that inspired me to like do write some raps.
Like, I
haven't done in
really
a while.
want to start like really flowing with like a live band. Like I want to start performing with a live band and flow because I feel like it'll give me a different type of energy. Because people are like, you either have to dance or have dancers, and like I was a dancer for 13 years. Like I can get down, don't play. But it's just sometimes I don't want it to be focused on too much, and then I lose the essence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you always want to
Exactly.
make sure you are in that zone. You always want to not lose
Right.
that focus. So
I can
and then
see that. I see it completely.
I did have one more, and I don't usually. Oh wait, let me see.
Yes.
Look, make sure there's not a. Is there not a? Just look in your and can you see? Okay, I can see the people in the room. I just want to make sure my sons are on here.
All right. Oh, I was gonna say, because I know you have a song called Portal, and I don't know if you saw the story, but I added that on the story when I was trying to announce your live. So it's interesting. I really like that song. Can you talk to me about that song, Portal?
So Portal actually started off as a rap song. It was hard bars, and I wanted the beat really bad because I love to rap to actually like trap music. Like I just like it. It gives me that different type of feel because it's something that you wouldn't expect. And I listen to everything except country. But I listen to a lot of, you know, I just don't like it. Sorry. But it started off with, you know, it was a hard rap beat, and I was just like, you wouldn't expect that from me, right? And the producer like didn't want to give me the beat. It was kind of like this thing, like, I don't know, he was being like particular. I was like, you ain't about your money then. So actually, I was cleaning the house one day, and I actually turned it into like an Adele song. Like I took the bars and I started singing to like a ballad. And then I said, oh, let me turn it into a different genre. Let me turn to a different genre. Let me turn to a different genre. And then that's when I found the neo soul, R&B, new soul instrumental that I ultimately used. And that is my only single I have out right now because it was like my project of last year. It had to be perfect. It absolutely had to be perfect. I was having issues with a sound engineer in my master's. He didn't want to give it to me. It took me 3 months just to get him to give me my money back. Not like, and just be like, I'm not going to help you. Anywho, just remember to always do your own business and just go with the vibe. And ladies, it's okay to go to studios by yourself if you feel like you are safe, but you do not have to smoke blunts with people. You don't have to have other people in your session. You can just go straight to the booth because a minute, $1. A minute, $1. And I think ultimately that's my downfall sometimes because some of these people are out here messing up the game for the rest of us who just want to get So this is Portal, actually. And it's funny because I don't like this. I'm not that I don't like it, but I'm sick of the song only because my son listens to it every night on repeat to go to sleep.
Oh.
And so I'm like,
he loves his mama.
I'm like, I don't want to hear it again. So you can hear it right now, right? So this is Portal, and it's about the different realms of mental health. It's up for 5 San Diego Music Awards, which is just in a few weeks. And even my album art is nominated. That I did myself.
Wow. That's awesome. I will listen to this Portal right now.
Within my portal, I'm in my mash. My mental isn't tame, no easy catch. Let's crash. My disorder, uncontrollable. I'm crash rag, I'm told. I'm inside the realm of anything other than the normal. My normal is abnormal. Deconstruction of my mental disorder that is in no order. To cut uneven borders inside my portal, inside. I have this darkness that surrounds me. Inside my heart, inside, 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 inside of my portal. Inside of my portal. I am the unshackled beast in disguise. I don't even know what it means to be alright. I got this overactive imagination. It's just an imitation of the reality that I am facing with these hallucinations. Hallucinations inside my portal, inside my portal. Cause deep inside my mind they hide. I got these parasites taking all the bites they like of what is mine inside my portal. I'm crouched right there and I'm total in low. Oh, within my portal I make my match. So in the club I met my match in my eye. Within my portal, I'm crashed right there, I'm total in my oh. The voices, they whisper like thunder, like thunder. I need an escape from all that they say. My own mental dismay.
Wow.
I do own the rights to that, by the way. This is my space.
Yeah.
I heard you can get that in Apple Music. And you can
Yes.
get it in Apple
Yeah, it's on
Music.
all streaming platforms. I pitched it to Sirius FM. They took it right away. Pandora took it. I pitched it to Pandora and iHeart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, good. That's where you can also find this podcast as well. Is also on those platforms as well. You got to expand as much as you can.
I can't wait to put that in my car and listen to it when I
No,
leave this place tonight.
because when I was looking for a song,
Love it.
when I was looking for a song, for the story, I'm like, oh snap, her song's on here, so I had to put it on the story. It was pretty,
you can attach it directly from Instagram, and so that. Yeah,
so I was like,
my project last year, and it's funny because I paid for high quality studios, and I had about 3 sessions, right? And I'm like, it just wasn't. It's like they were putting too much stuff on my voice. I said I wanted my voice as natural as possible. I didn't need auto-tune. And like, even when I perform, a lot of the older folks like it. And they always come up to me and they're like, you sound exactly like what I just heard on Spotify. They're like, you sound like the radio was on the stage. And they were like, and that doesn't happen too often anymore. It seems like, people are lip syncing or they just don't sound like they have too much. And so this song was actually recorded in a producer's closet with a lava lamp.
Wow.
What color?
It was pink. My color, pink. But
I did feel back.
But he.
But back to what Leon said earlier.
He gave me the best quality. He mixed it. By the time I got home, it was already sent to me exactly how he said. And so he is my actual audio. Like you assemble your team, right? You assemble a team because you need a team. And I have my, like tomorrow we're gonna be filming, Bill? We're gonna film tomorrow. He flies drones. Anyone in the San Diego area, I fly drones. He also does IT stuff. He builds websites. If you have a business yourself, he can actually get Google verification for any kind of business profile. So reach out to me, and I'll also put his stuff in the comments, and I can connect you guys as well because I get a finder's fee. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, that's your guy. Look at him. He's working right now.
Hi.
Yeah, what's up?
So you have to have a team, and that guy is going to be my audio engineer. His name is Drew, and he's going to be my sound engineer until, like, I don't know, maybe 15th Grammy. And then
Nice.
I'll probably eat some Lucky Charms out of the 15th one.
Come
You know, so I was.
All right, Drew.
Wow. You got something, Leon. What's up? I'm speechless right now. I'm just like on cloud nine. I'm high right now on this. Oh my God. You take over, man. I need a minute. It's my turn, Angela. I need a minute now.
I know. I always do the best.
I wanted to share one more piece with you guys before I have to eat something, because
Okay.
I might be small and little and stuff, but your girl's anemic and has ALP syndrome, which is a rare blood genetic
Oh,
disorder.
wow. You know what's
So
crazy? Because my
iron
wife
gets really
is the same
low.
way.
Take care of you.
I get really
take care of
grumpy, and I'll
No, no.
start like roasting people, and then it gets violent.
Yeah.
I have to like get on a plane and like put Timberlands on and throw my hair back and like fight people, and yeah, it's not
Yo,
good.
you know what's crazy? No, because my wife is anemic too, and she has to do, I think, twice a week. She has to go
Yes.
get like
Fusion?
iron and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I have a vitamin
Yeah, so
deficiency
it's
too.
not a picnic. Yeah, it's not a picnic, and I see like she'll come home and she's just exhausted. I'm like, babe, I don't know what to do, and I feel so bad because I tried to say the right things, but I'm like, if I catch her in the wrong mood, I'm like, okay, I meant to say the right thing, but it came out wrong, and now you're mad at me. I'm sorry. Like, let me just walk this way. You just But yeah, no, that thing is, oh my God, that is no picnic.
No, it's really not. And the last time I had my iron checked, it was like, it's supposed to be a 13. It was like a 5. Yeah, and
Wow.
sometimes I
Oh,
faint. Not often, but I faint.
Yeah.
Take care of our Cece, please.
Okay, once they're talking.
Yeah, no, my wife's the same way too. Lana Monroe 91 says, "Peace and blessings, beloved kings and queens." And then she also says, "I love you, Cece."
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I get a little weird too. Sorry, I get weird. I'm a weird person.
Hey, I'm weird.
Okay.
It is
Just pulling this up. So this piece I wanted to share. This is since we are sharing all of the different styles, I have to always go back to my roots, which is poetry. Poetry has always been it's my foundation, and I wouldn't be how I am right now without poetry. Grew up in gifted classes. I was like the only kid in the darn gifted class, but I grew up in gifted classes, and with me, it was always words. It was always formulating words, stringing things together, and making stories. Naturally, I am a storyteller. And with storytelling ability, you have to be the voice for those who, one, don't have their voice anymore, or two, who are fearful of using their voice. And so I decided to write this piece called Demon Speaking. It is my most prolific piece I've ever written. It actually was supposed to have a Grammy submission for the one that just passed, but I had some things come up where I was unable to. But I wanted to make sure that I took my time when recording it. It's also in my book called Play on Words, which will actually be out at the end of April instead of the 6th because of some manuscript problems. So.
Okay, so after you perform, we want to hear about the book too. So we'll talk about that before you have to run out on that.
Okay. I'm just pulling up why is my iCloud taking forever? Why is your internet slow? You're a computer guy.
It's not slow.
It's not slow?
No.
Okay. Sorry, just kidding. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Come
wow,
on, Drew. What's wrong with the internet, Drew? Come on, Drew.
Here we go. Delete. All right, let me just go on my Gmail then. I have to pull it from here. And you know what? I wish I had this memorized. I have some of it memorized, but basically this piece came from me wanting to put a storytelling poetry over an instrumental. And
Ooh, okay.
what I received, I actually wrote this in 10 minutes. It's almost like it played like a movie in my head, if that makes sense. And I remember I told my transitioning roommate, I was like, I want to write a storytelling poetry piece over an instrumental, but not rapping, telling a story. And he's like, yeah, whatever, go for it. He goes in the bathroom, and then he comes back out, it was already done. And
Oh my God,
Brandon Leak is the first poet. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's one of the first poets, the only poet to ever win America's Got Talent. And he's
Okay.
he
I know you're
was
talking about.
very, very, like, this piece is gold. It's gold. So trigger warning. There is talk of suicide, domestic violence, incest, molestation. So it's just full of triggers. So I just wanted to give a trigger warning for anyone who may be affected by the words. This is something that I created, but it is someone's truth. Do not own the rights to this instrumental. Her demons kept speaking, feeling trapped within herself. Who can help her where she can't help her? The demons keep whispering and she feels forced to keep listening, and they are more than whispering. They are screaming. Nowhere to unfurl her overflowing mental and the clogged drain of hers that keeps flowing only to overflow as the voices they only grow. Her world she wishes to let go, and the internal comments go on more than they stop. Into the deep, even more they creep. Will somebody please stop the whispering? Porous things that seep, label the ball of lightning with a color so lightning, drowning every prospect of escaping her portal. She feels like she is unliving while living in a dark place of constant hiding. She wishes she could ask someone to help her make it through another day, because she only wanted another option. Battered by two people who brought her into a sacred and scarred world, only to grow and repeat the same aching rapport in which she was exposed. But this time, she had the illusion of having love. Struggling to make it day by day, she wants the days and the nights to both go away. Nothing special about you, her abusers would say. Nothing special about you to stay and live another day. Countless miscarriages offers more than countless empty carriages. And non-hesitant was the fist, and the backhands and the bruises left as a kiss by him to her, just to release his rage as he himself was not okay. His portal of incest-injected torture, as his father touched him in the places that don't show, didn't make his scars invisible. This activated lifelong trauma, placed touching him deep in the persona of a ticking bomb. And those scars were inflicted in a time and a place of the unseen. It didn't mean that he too was living a life filled without suffering. His need to release was to avoid the feeling that he hated the most, and felt like nothing. And truth be told, he felt nothing. Pay attention to me! His demanded policy. Like each touch time he wanted to scream, on her he would beat, feeling more empowered than when he couldn't say anything. When his father got into his bed so freely, like his father, he felt like he was owed something from the nothing he tried so hard not to be. She was suffering because he hated the feeling of being nothing, unheard, unseen, so he would release his pain onto she. She wanted love and he wanted control, and they both needed to help to stop the pain they didn't want to feel anymore, using love like a tool, like his childhood lore. Touching father and the urges that kept coming on strong, wasn't loved or given anything to nourish the soul, which could have stopped the problem from the get-go. Walking into the home, father wanted to redeem his soul, as pancreatic cancer was going to be the one in control, stage 4. A son visiting was limiting, but nothing ever stopped father, now did it. Walking into the house, the temperature was cold and the silence was loud. Wanting to restore blessings and make amends he planned on making, but oh, the forsaking. Whiff of the vast blood scent filled his nostrils, frozen by the piercing sight of his son's dead eyes. Cold, still, like the room in which father stood frozen in time. Aroma of gunpowder like the 4th of July. Noticing stiffened sheets with no signs of life beneath, he pulled the sheets with the polyester cotton blend that was blood-soaked, as she laid there with 4 bullets lodged within her head. Murder-suicide took away any chance to heal the internalized traumas. And it all started with the father that led into the murderous monster that lived among 1, 2, 3 of them. So if you take anything from 2 lives lost and 1 scarred, just know that trauma is transferable.
I felt that. Oh, yeah.
Just gotta give it a minute. That was
Yeah. Hold up, because I felt that. Like, I visioned the whole thing playing out as you were. Wow, that was. Yeah, you gotta give me a minute.
now.
Oh my God.
You did write the lyrics first before the instrumental, or that's right, correct? You wrote it first,
No,
and then the instrumental.
I picked the
You wrote
instrumental
the
on YouTube. I put storytelling
instrumental
instrumental.
because it
Clicked
just
it.
totally just
Yeah, I clicked it,
felt
and
the
like I
whole
said,
act. Yeah.
it's almost like my pen was the director and the pen was the producer. I seen it in my head. It's like I'm a messenger, and I make myself available to create.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that you remember back in the, I don't know if it was back in the 20s or 30s when they had the radio, like they used to do the shows on the radio. And they would do these things. That's what that reminded me of. Like everything. Like, that's exactly what it took me back to.
Yeah,
Like
it
a
was even
modern
black
day
and white in
back
my
in the
head.
20s.
It was black and white in my
Yes,
head when I created
yes,
it.
yes.
And the only red that I seen was blood. That's the only red that I seen, like a color pop. And I just see the whole thing. I just seen the whole thing, and that took 10 minutes to write.
Wow.
And you took the words right out of my mouth. Wow. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
So again, it
wow.
really kind of plays off the fact that the sensory, the memory, the creative parts of our brains that are attached to sensory, like you hearing the music. Yes, Leon is back. Heck yes.
No, I missed. Well, I think I'll be played.
Oh, yes, Leon. It
Bro.
was pretty. It was pretty spectacular. But again,
Like none of the opera-ish vibe.
I'm actually trained in opera.
Again,
wow.
it had like
Damn.
and orchestral music.
Skit.
It's like it's got those
Wow.
scenes like in orchestral music. There's like a adagio part, and then it's it changes each movement. There is movement throughout that piece, and you can feel it as you're going through. And the last line really just sticks with you for sure. That's
Yeah.
why Andy had in a minute, of course.
Yeah, usually a lot of people are
because
usually taken
I
back.
saw I saw black and white, darkness, like Phantom of the Opera-ish type vibe, but there's a little bit of
into the flashback.
Yeah.
I can see
like those
doing this on
Dracula movies
stage.
from back in black and white Dracula. Yeah, like you know what, you know what.
Sorry, can we do
you know what? I was gonna say, Cece, you know what I was gonna say? This could be a fucking play.
And that's what I was going to tell you.
It will.
Yeah, poetic skit, play on words, is going to be turned into a play. That was supposed to be my project for this year. I had a really scary health issue come up, and I was hospitalized for 15 days. When was that? In February and March. So I'm just recovering from that. But that was supposed to be, I already have people here in San Diego who are in charge with the plays. I did a show with them. And I also, there's a lady who owns, it's called Cafe X. It's a great place to go if you're in the San Diego area. Definitely check it out. It's in Barrio Logan. But she actually produces plays. And I was able to sit down with her and discuss this piece because it will be a play. I am hoping by the end of this year. But realistically, it might be the end of next year. Just because you have to get everyone together. And so Play on Words is basically a series of poetic skits. And these poetic skits are all trauma heavy. They're trigger, because there needs to be something that is still artistically expressed, but there's a real vulnerable voice that needs to be highlighted. And we need to be more open with talking about these things so people who feel like they have to suffer in silence until they die or until they take their life or till someone takes their life. I want to be able to kind of pull back from, let's just be in the light and it's all about me. No, we need to make it all about these people who are living these stories that have lost their lives. Whether they're in the media or whether they're not in the media, there's a reason why people who are creators are gifted in this way. And I feel like I always used to say, I am a perspective-based writer because I did go through a lot of things in my life, and I'm 32, and things are starting to finally settle. But there's a reason why I'm here. There's a reason why I'm gifted. I'm high functioning Asperger's. So a lot of the time they say when people have Asperger's, they cannot relate or connect and have that empathy or emotion. That's not true. With me, instead of numbers, it's words. And with me, instead of having a lack of empathy, I have over. I just know how to keep myself composed.
Wow.
Unless you would have said something, I would have never even.
And that's due to probably because you had a lot of resources available to you so young, having the ability to write and have, your aunt is also somebody who is able to guide you in a way to let go and stuff like that. But thank you for sharing all of that.
I have photographic memory, so you can't bullshit me in a relationship at all, because I'll tell you exactly what it looked like, and just you can't. But I have photographic memory, and I also have vivid replay of like memory. I can remember my mom coming to give me a bottle in the crib. That's how far back my memory goes.
I can't remember past 4 or 5 years old. Anything past 4 or 5 is like a blur. So
see, I can remember when I was 7, because when I was 7, my father had a guitar. He was pissed off and he slammed the guitar against the wall. That I remember, like vividly.
Have you worked through that?
And I'm like, and I was only 7, but somehow I remember when I was 7. Like, that's like the earliest memory I have in childhood. For the most of my childhood, it was very blurry, but I remember a lot, but not enough where I can say, oh, well, because honestly, music is what really got me through my childhood, because I was sheltered most of the time and I used to see things happening, but nothing was ever explained to me. But if you were to ask me, oh, so what's your greatest hobby you used to like, I couldn't tell you. That's how blurry my childhood is.
That's interesting. I can remember some bits of
mushrooms can help.
In California. I
might
born in California.
Consider it for real.
I think you should, Andy. I think you should, Andy. I think you should, Andy. Especially if you're saying it's very fuzzy and
it's very big. Like I can tell you all the stuff I do remember. Like I was pretty much in the hospital most of the time, because it was always like, psychiatric therapy, being on medication. I was in a psych ward for a week, stuff like that. Like I remember those things, I remember being bullied. I remember getting into a fight. I remember I got to this really nasty fight. My brother, I hit him over the head with a flashlight. Like, I remember those things. I remember when my father and my sister had a fallout and they didn't talk for 9 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? I remember those things. Yeah. Childhood to teenhood and all that. I remember, like, those things. But if you would have asked me what really got me through that, was wrestling and music. Like, anything music related, anything that was wrestling, that's what really got me. And writing poetry, or just writing thoughts that, whatever access I had to a piece of paper, because I didn't really have a computer until I hit college, that's really what got me through. I didn't have toys, and if I did have toys, I made like two-piece action figures. Like, I was just weird like that, because I didn't have actual toys. I was poor. My father couldn't really afford a lot of stuff, because he had no choice but to be stingy with money. Like, I remember those things, but if you would have asked me what's your greatest hobby, I can't tell you. Like, I really can't.
Right.
Not that's a selfie. Good thing it wasn't a bad picture. This is my mom.
Oh.
I was gonna say.
Oh wow!
That's beautiful.
Very beautiful picture of her.
Wow.
Beautiful.
And then this was my dad.
Wow. Oh God, you definitely have like that.
Can you scroll a little bit down, tilt your phone a little bit down, or the camera a little bit down to show your father? I couldn't see the bottom of his face.
Sorry, we're going through all my selfies now.
That's okay.
That put my phone down. Oh, look, there's one of them together.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
What a great photo.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the. Yeah.
That was my mom.
What?
Her name was Claire.
Oh, you look like her. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, my gosh. That is such a great photo. I love that photo. Her bangs are so great. Photo.
Wow.
Even her facial expressions are mine.
Yeah. No, I can
Oh, for sure.
So sometimes I have to, I do remind myself, like, to look at their faces ever so often, not because I hurt or I'm going to be upset.
Right.
It's because sometimes they do get fuzzy in my head. That was my dad.
Wow.
Oh, I love
what's funny? You know what's crazy?
That's a great photo
Like,
of him.
I have pictures of my dad, when he was in his last days. I can't look at that. I have it on my Google. I refuse to look at that folder. And my parents actually got remarried. He figured, what, let's do this before I die, kind of thing. And they had a priest. He was already on the chair. He really couldn't move or nothing. But I refuse to look at that folder. I refuse to this very day. And then I have a voicemail because on WhatsApp you could you could save the audio, and this was an audio of my dad saying, "Oh, I got that shirt that you like." Like he had like this nice sky blue shirt on his wedding day that I liked a lot because I said, "Oh, this goes with this black and sky blue tie that I have." And he ended up buying it for me, and my mom was like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" And I have that voicemail of my dad telling me, "Oh, I got you that shirt. I love you." And he started crying like on the thing, whatever. My mom's like, "Oh, come on, this guy, whatever." But like, I refuse to listen to that. Like, I still have it, and I refuse to look at it. I refuse to listen to that. I'll look at his old stuff, like, when we have gatherings or whatever. But and even with that, even like there were certain gatherings, I see pictures of it, but I don't remember the actual event, if that makes sense. That's how blurry my life was for a long time, is for a long time, that it's like I don't visually remember it, but I see pictures. I'm like, okay, so it did happen. But like those older pictures of his last days, I still have, and I refuse to look at them. Like, I can't, like, and it's still, I'm like, do I delete it? I don't want to delete it.
What was that?
Like, Cece, you have what are your thoughts on that? Because you had some good thoughts about because you've dealt with how to let things go and opening up to stuff. What are your thoughts of the fact that he can't look at them yet? I know you mentioned we did talk about microdosing mushrooms is definitely something to look at as some help.
Healing your inner child.
Stuff there.
Healing your inner child. Go back to your very first memory that is traumatic for you. That's why I said that's trauma. When you said the memory of him breaking that's something that is violent against an object. So heal your inner child. If you do microdose and you're a little bit worried about your response to it, just make sure that you have somebody that knows that you're going to take some mushrooms. Sometimes there's psychotherapists that can help, and they can give you the right dose where you can actually. I relived the car accident. Oh, wow. I used to get nightmares every December. I used to relive it where I'd claw myself trying to get out, claw, and I'd have scratches everywhere. But when I was able to relive it and I was able to hold myself, as me like time traveling and telling myself it's gonna happen. You just don't tense up. Just let it be what it was, and just don't tense, don't fight it, don't block it. You're going to go through this class, they're going to die, and your life is going to be different. And from that moment when I relived it and I went through it again, I never not had a nightmare in almost 10 years.
And that's huge. Wow. I know you mentioned that you had been a sufferer of night terrors, and there are people who are in the poetry community that has talked about suffering from those things. So, wow. So that was something that was really helpful to you.
Yes, absolutely. And there's ways that you can take mushrooms. There's ways that you can take mushrooms too. Like I said, you don't always have to get the visuals or the high feeling. You can, what you can do is a 21-day cycle where you give yourself very, very small amount, and then each day you kind of increase it. You can put it in tea. You can put it in oatmeal. You can eat it as chocolate. And then you just set your intention. What am I going to work on right now? What do I want to achieve? How do I want to balance? You can meditate. You can astral project. And then if you listen to binaural frequencies for at least...
Me too, Leanne.
So there's binaural and there's solfeggio. So you can listen to that. But the only way that binaural beats can truly work, you have to have earphones. You have to put in, they have to be evenly on each ear. And then you have to, you can even set an intention with that. Do affirmations. Do affirmations with that. I am healthy. I am well. I am healthy. I am well. I am healthy. I am healthy. I am well. And then you do that for 8 hours a day, 21 days. And that is how long it takes for your brain and your subconscious to be fed your new truth. I am of abundance. I love myself. I am healed. I am healthy. I am strong. I didn't think I was they almost gave me 6 months to live just a few months, 2 months ago. And I lost the ability to walk again. And they thought I had lymphoma and leukemia. It turns out I had a serious infections, but I went dark. I won't lie, I went dark. I went dark for like a week. And I also have a tumor that's pressing up against my main artery right now. And I haven't, it's just all these things were going wrong. And I tapped into myself. I am healthy. I am strong. I am healthy. I am strong. I am healthy. I am strong. And I ate mushrooms. I even made an oatmeal out of it. And this is me I was a little bit concerned about the taste. Mm-hmm. Look. And I'm like, this is for healing. Oh, this is good. This is real. Oh, this is good healing oatmeal. And you see how my vibe is set, right? You see there's good light. Yes. I'm playing good music, good energy. I'm feeling the flow of my, it's a state of flow.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a healing because your body can heal itself if you're able to convince yourself, because your body will believe, because the placebo effect works even if you know it's a placebo, because the brain has these incredible neurological abilities. Leon, what do you
always say that about crystals. I'm like, even if it's a placebo effect, it's working.
Yes, it's working.
This goes like the healthcare, and this is why I believe in natural remedies. As we're speaking, because there's so many people. I work customer service. There's so many people who go day to day living in negativity, living in pity parties, living in unhealed trauma, and unfortunately, they live and die in it with having healthy methods or habits, because either nobody told them, or they felt too prideful, or they were very ignorant of the resources, and it's sad. So hearing these things is, I hope whoever hears this, it enlightens you, and encourages you that yes, you can be healed, you can be delivered. It is okay to not be okay. It is okay to ask for help. It's okay. It's okay. Nobody is perfect. Nobody's perfect, and we all suffer through trauma and in episodes through different ways and mannerisms. But take those things, and those things are not your identity. They're a part of you, but they're not all of you. They're not all the sums of you. We're all these puzzle pieces as we grow older, and as we're blessed to grow. We're still learning about each other. I'm 38 years old. I still don't know. Listen, I say this. The more I've come to know, I don't know. But that's okay.
Yes.
Listen, I'm still learning about. Let me say something. I've learned more about myself through my son being a father and being a husband than I've ever learned my entire life. And I'm still learning about myself. And I see things about myself every day that I'm just like, wow, okay, you know what? And it's based on what I was saying before about not remembering. I don't want my son to go through that. I want him to enjoy everything that he can have. I want him to understand and listen. You're not okay. It's okay not to be okay, but don't be alone in it, if that makes sense. If you're gonna have your moment, don't stay in your moment. I want to be able to, even after I pass on, I die, whatever, I want my son to remember me for just the fact that I always had a great relationship with him, that I was able to teach him and walk him through things, pretty much give him the stuff that my dad was not able to give me, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
I just want to be known for my sense of humor. When it comes to trauma, when it comes to trauma, you just got to decapitate it and just take it by the head. And you just got
David and Goliath. Yeah, just chop Goliath's head off.
Yeah, and you know what? It's okay to sometimes I write these bars where I'm looking at you, sleep silently, creep, pretend to weep. Up on your neck, I breathe, I creep, the floorboards creep beneath my feet. You can't sense me, I guess you're block G. Time I take out this block G. You think I have something bothering me? Something fogging my memory. Now that's not my reality, but this cold heart still about to fulfill my fantasy. Nothing but this issue I'm going to cease, taking you at my mercy with refreshing moments of clarity. So things like that is kind of I feel like I have power in my brain. I would never act out on any violent tendencies, and these words are just for display only.
Right.
But it's okay to have those thoughts. Just learn how to learn how to make use of it.
Yes, you got to.
So that was kind of my ending. That was kind of my ending note now, because I really got to eat something.
Yeah, I was going to say, Cece, we got to have you.
No, so.
Yes.
No,
Say goodbye,
doubt.
Cece.
Yeah, so Cece, thank you so much for saying yes to us. Thank you for trusting us. Thank you for being a part of this journey with us.
Part two.
And yes, we got to eventually do a part
Only in
two for
medicine.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be
Yes.
part two.
Again, thank you.
Go
Yes,
eat,
and
Cece. Stay
thank
well.
yeah, thank you for your spirit. That you're such a beautiful soul, and may the Lord be with you always. And we'll
Thank
talk
you.
again soon. Thank you,
And if
thank you,
anybody
thank you
wants
for tonight.
to treat me and Bill to dinner, my Cash App is Flow Cece Flow. Thank you. Just kidding. No.
Hold on. Put it down.
Hey, listen. You can't blame you can't blame a woman for trying, right? Can't blame us for trying. Hey, donations.
CC Flow, because we're gonna have dinner right now because I'm starving. So if you guys really
All right, thank you, CC.
love Light and Flow, everyone.
Go.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye, y'all.
Blessings.
All right. Oh my God. So guys, real quick, before we end, I just have to say thank you guys. I know I could be a pain in the ass. I'm sorry.
Never.
It's just I want us to do this together. I love the togetherness. Thank you for tonight. I actually needed tonight for sure. I was a little down a little bit earlier. Nothing bad happened. It was just had a lot going on, and this is exactly what I needed tonight. And I thank God for you guys. For those who are here, thank you for joining us. We have another live tomorrow with another person by the name of Kay Salas. She was part of the Miss New Jersey beauty pageant. I'm actually going to interview her tomorrow.
Cool.
If you guys are not busy, come through. We're gonna talk about all about that as to why she decided to do that.
7 o'clock.
Yeah, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So, guys, thank you so much. If you guys can make it tomorrow, that'd be great. And then, as far as
it's great seeing you.
yeah, so we'll talk. Yes. So, all right. So, guys, thank you for joining. And Angela and Leon, I will talk to you private. So, hi, guys. Thank you.
Guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.